Welcome back to Rodecast, guys. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be looking at a Rachel Maddow clip, which is bound to be hilarious in itself. But she's talking about how they're holding events in North Carolina. Bunch of bleeding heart white people with a lot of white guilt trying to help these illegals before ICE comes and grabs them. As you guys know, as we have covered here, there have been a lot of raids in North Carolina, all over, especially in Charlotte, where it's infested with these taco eating Juans and Marias. And so the raids have been going faster than I've ever seen. Okay. They've already arrested over 200 people and they're continuing. They're not stopping. So everybody's freaking out. There are a lot of protests and idiots coming out to try to interfere with ICE arrests. They didn't succeed, of course. The illegals get arrested anyways. All they're doing is wasting their time. And that's a prime example of what they're doing here as well. But nevertheless, it's bound to be comedy gold.
In the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, organizers and community members were already doing on-the-ground work in preparation even before Trump's latest attack started on that city over this weekend. A local immigrant rights group called
attacks. Note the way she frames it. Yes, enforcing our immigration laws and getting illegal aliens who are not even supposed to be here is an attack.
Trump's latest attack started on that city over this weekend. A local immigrant rights group called Siembra, North Carolina, started a project they call Defend and Recruit in Charlotte. They've published...
See, Rachel, you being a white woman can't even pronounce these names. That should be a clue as to the fact that these savages shouldn't even be in your country. I know you don't think so, but that's a clue from nature that they're not supposed to be here when you can't even speak the language, because they have a country where they won't have an accent and they'll be able to speak the language, and that's their country. For the most of them, that's Mexico. Okay. There are clues everywhere. When you can't pronounce their names and you can't talk to these people, that's a clue that they shouldn't even be here. Okay. All they do is cause problems when they're here. And of course, the most important fact, their ancestors didn't build this country, so they have no right to even set foot in this land. It's like me coming and trying to occupy your house. Since I don't own your house, I shouldn't have a right to be there. It's very simple, but Rachel Maddow and everybody else doesn't understand. Simple, natural facts about where people belong and where they should stay.
Guides, they've published videos for what to do if federal immigration agents show up on your block or in your community. They've made posters for people to put on their doors. I gotta say, this is my personal favorite. It's in the style of those live, laugh, love signs you'd see at like Home Goods or whatever. Look what it says. In this house, we live like there's room for everyone. We laugh at least once a day, and we love a judicial warrant. If you are a federal agent, you must present a signed warrant to enter.
Yes, everybody knows that. What a dumb sign. And what the hell do you mean that there's room for everybody? Literally, wherever this is posted in that house, there is not room for everybody. Look at this. Look at the stupidity of this sign, man. This is the mental insanity that these people live with. Okay. How is there room for everybody? So that must mean that wherever this is posted, I'm welcome, right? Because I'm not a federal agent. There's room for everybody, so I guess I can walk in, right? Oh, no, actual white people who belong in this country, no, that they're not welcome. When they say everyone, they mean third world savages. That's who they mean when they say there's room for everybody. Okay, there isn't room for white people in this house, wherever this stupid sign is posted, a bleeding heart liberal who hates themselves. There's no room for white people. They mean that there's room for Mexicans and all the other Latin dirt that's filtered into our country over the last however many decades.
Signed warrant to enter. That is very well done. Tonight,
no one ever said that ICE can break into a private residence unless they're in a hot pursuit. They can't break into a private residence. It was never under any doubt that you need a judicial warrant to come into somebody's house. Who doesn't know that? Okay. What we're saying is ICE does not need a warrant to arrest people or detain people in public areas. Okay. Rachel here thinks this is so hilarious, but this sign is so stupid. It doesn't even appreciate basic legal facts. No one ever said that if it's a private house, you can break in. Okay. No one ever said that. In a public area, yes, ICE can arrest you without a warrant. These dummies don't even know basic legal differences and jurisdictions. Hilarious.
The group behind those resources held a community training at a local church in Charlotte. MS Now's Jacob
Of course it's the church. Got bleeding heart Christians with white guilt coming out of their noses everywhere. Surprised it's not a Catholic church. They're the worst.
The group behind those resources held a community training at a local church in Charlotte. MS Now's Jacob Soboroff was there. And got to look at the turnout. Look at this. Not a single empty seat in this church tonight on a Monday.
Yes, a lot of bleeding heart white people. A sea of white people. Look at this. Literally almost everybody in here is a white person. This is the white guilt I'm talking about. These people are sick to themselves and they want to destroy this country ASAP. And I see like one Asian in the front there in the red jacket, but everybody else is a white person. Disgusting.
Tonight, over 300 people showing up to learn what they can do to try to protect their community from...
Try to destroy their community and let it fully be infested by these taco-eating savages. Yes, yes. How great, what great people they are trying to destroy the Anglo-Saxon heritage of this country. Good job. George Washington would be very proud of you.
Who again started their attack on Charlotte this weekend.
Yes, and we're going to keep attacking, Rachel, until all the filth has been cleaned out. That's right. We're going to keep attacking. See, you can use whatever words you want to try to demonize our project here to purify America, but we're going to keep doing it. ICE is going to keep going. Border Patrol is going to keep going. You can call it an attack. You can whistle. You can do all these stupid BS that they're getting trained here to do. We're still going to come even harder. Get ready. Okay, your taco-eating little friends are going back to Mexico.
Did role-playing exercises talking about how to conduct safety patrols in your own neighborhood, how to react if you see Trump's masked agents beating people up or snatching people off the streets. Jacob spoke to one of the...
See, I told you guys that this would be comedy gold. Look at this. Look at these dummies, man.
Playing exercises talking about how to conduct safety patrols in your own neighborhood, how to react if you see Trump's masked agents.
Look at the woman in red. She's hilarious.
React if you see
yes.
How to conduct safety patrols in your own neighborhood. How to react if you see Trump's...
What silly geese.
Masked agents beating people up or snatching people off the streets.
Yeah, the woman on the right here in that black sweater, she's not really putting in the effort. You got to be screaming louder. Come on, man. ICE agents are snatching somebody. They're kidnapping people.
Jacob spoke to one of the organizers tonight, a pastor from a nearby town.
Oh, boy.
About what it's like to see his community show up like this.
How does it make you feel to know that all these people showed up on a Monday night and you got many more of these to do?
Yeah, hilarious how more people came up to help a bunch of illegals more than to actually worship your Jewish God. That's hilarious. But it's very sad because that pew would not even be halfway full on a regular Monday because, you know, people don't give a damn about your religion. They love the illegals more than they love your Jesus. That is hilarious and sad.
It makes me grateful and reminds me of how much our community loves each other, and our community wants to support that. People don't come out Monday nights, right, to anything. And so that people are showing up right now and spending their valuable time to learn how to care for each other and protect each other.
Yeah, all they're doing is learning how to waste their times and try to get arrested and criminally charged for interfering with ICE agents. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to ruin their lives and to ruin America by trying to stop ICE agents from doing their job. That's what these idiots are doing, pastor. And you should be using your time feeding the homeless, do something helping real Americans instead of trying to help a bunch of freaking illegals who broke into our country.
I don't even have words for it.
Yeah, I don't have words either.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, is Jacob Soboroff, senior national correspondent for MS Now. Jacob, I'm so glad you were able to get to this tonight. What can you tell us about the event that you were at and what you saw?
Rachel, it was exciting and it was inspiring here
at
the church tonight.
Helping illegals. We all learned how to get in the way of ICE agents doing their job. Aren't we so great?
Charlotte, in a very, very dark time. There were, as you saw in the video...
I don't think this is a dark time. I think it's a very light time. Praise Odin and the Valkyries. This is a great time. Okay, America's finally being cleaned up of the savages who have infested it. I don't know why Soboroff. Of course I know why. He's a freaking immigrant himself, of course, and his parents from Russia. So Jew boy here loves the immigrants and hates Americans.
Hundreds of people here on a Monday night when they could be doing just about anything else. And I think it's fair to say, based on...
Yes, literally going to the bathroom and doing your business this Monday night would have been a better use of these people's times.
unofficial counts that I've heard from sources here in Charlotte, that may be as many people in this church tonight. And there were 4 other trainings. Others have been scheduled here in North Carolina as federal agents on the ground conducting these operations. And Siembra has been in existence for a long time, since 2017. They have been preparing for this moment since the first Trump administration. But it was only now, with these community meetings already planned, and then the Border Patrol and ICE showed up, that they're really able to sort of effectuate all of this. And it isn't just kumbaya and holding hands. Some of the people that have been inside have already been to some of the trainings. And one woman, Jenny, I want to show you this. She told me that these trainings are not only for people to stand up and resist, but they actually work. They're protecting their fellow residents here. Watch this. What's the most important thing that you've taken away from being at these trainings and actually being out in the field in the face of the Border Patrol being here?
I think obviously watching someone literally being detained, but I felt like our presence and the way that the rest of the folks in the parking lot at the grocery store where we were located, the community coming together prevented that from being executed. They let them go.
They let him go. They let him go.
Yes, if that actually, I don't know if she's lying or what, but it seems pretty unbelievable. But if they did, there must be other reason rather than the fact that they were there. Okay, sometimes they stop people and they verify if these people are actual citizens or have some kind of legal status. ICE agents carry around cell phones that have all the records from USCIS where they can check if somebody's legal or not. Okay, usually that's the only reason they're let go. Okay, if that's actually true. Again, I don't know if I can believe this one. She seems serious, but most of these people like half demented. Honestly, okay, I hate saying that about a bunch of white women, but they have completely been brainwashed by this propaganda about how ICE is kidnapping people and all this other nonsense on TikTok, which needs to be shut down, by the way. Terrorist Chinese organization, that's what TikTok is. But the young kids love it. Okay, I'm a millennial, so that's after my time. I don't know how people stand TikTok. I hate that platform. It's hideous. Okay, but nevertheless, they've been getting brainwashed on TikTok, and even older people are now on it, getting brainwashed about these ICE raids. And that's the reason most of these dummies showed up here today, because they've gotten brainwashed by lunatic liberals, open borders liberals, who think that anybody who breaks into this country has a right to stay forever and are equal to George Washington. Okay, any taco burrito that breaks in here is equal to the founding fathers. That's what this dummy on screen believes. That's why she's trying to help these savages stay in our country after they invaded. Disgusting.
Go. They let him go. Rachel, it's all very...
Wow, you got one out of the 200 plus that's been arrested so far? Good job.
Practical. I mean, in that case, Jenny, this teacher said they let someone go when the Siembra volunteers showed up to one of these raids. They hand out flyers like this to say what to do if you're detained. And I think, perhaps most importantly, like you said, they are learning from the other cities. And it's not just all doom and gloom. They even were...
Yeah, they can learn all they want. ICE has also learned from the other cities. That's why they're moving faster and apprehending more people. Okay, let's see who learned faster. The people who are trying to stop this country from being saved, or the federal agents doing their job. I surely hope that it's the federal agents, because I care about America. But Soberoff and Maddox and everybody else, and MS now, wants this country to turn into Mexico as soon as possible. So they're hoping that ICE fails.
Teaching the people that were inside this church tonight songs to sing, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine," when they show up to protect the people of this community. So it doesn't
Odin,
get
help me
violent,
now.
so it doesn't get adversarial, so it stays positive and uplifting in a moment that's really hard for so many people here.
I see people with whistles who are seeing the singing that you're describing. It does seem like there's kind of an iterative process where each new city that gets attacked by Trump's agents learns something from the tactics that happened and that were employed by people standing up in the earlier cities to have been attacked. Charlotte didn't have much notice that this was all going to be being brought down upon them as of this weekend.
Yes, more is going to be brought down upon them, aka people trying to get the illegal aliens who broke into our country out. Look at this. Look at this entire project that they're engaging in here. Rachel Maddox here. Okay, she is doing this entire segment to praise a group of people trying to stop the federal law from being implemented because they love the people who have invaded their land so much and hate the federal agents doing their job so much that they're wasting their time. First of all, idiots here are holding this in this church, wasting their lives. And then these dummies over here, these two over here are spending thousands of dollars putting together this segment. Every single one of these segments takes a lot of money to put together, hiring reporters, sending them out there. They're doing all this to save a bunch of people who have broken federal law, have no regard for the citizens, and have violated our borders. And this is all to save them. This is the project that they're engaged in right now. Okay. Maddox here, and then this Russian Jew, Soborov, all these people, okay, trying their very best to turn America into Mexico.
Do you think the organizers are surprised by the turnout that they're getting in terms of these packed houses for the trainings and the large protests?
Yeah, they
that
are.
we're already seeing the way people are responding?
I think in the wake of the No King's Day protests, and there were some leaders of Indivisible locally here this evening, they know that people want to stand up, and they know that people want to push back, and they actually know that these tactics work. They work for families.
No, they don't work. You got one guy, one Juan, who was freed, and we don't even know if that's actually true. They're not working, Soborov. You're stupid. You want to pretend they're working. You want to pretend you're having an impact, but you're not having any impacts because they're going even faster in Charlotte than they did in Chicago. So no, you haven't made any progress, actually. They're so self-delusional that they want to believe they're making a difference when really it's a border patrol who have actually taken their game up. Okay. And I'm not just saying that because I like them. I'm saying that as an objective matter. They're arresting more people faster now in Charlotte than they did in Chicago. That's just a fact. And even they acknowledge this. I don't know why in the world they think they're making a difference, but they're not. Okay. Yelling and screaming at them is not changing anything. They're going and picking up the illegals anyways.
In 2018, when hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people came to the streets in not a bipartisan but a universal condemnation that resulted in the reversal of that policy. And I think that they believe that the same thing can happen now. There is nothing that Stephen Miller wants less, folks inside that church believe, than to hear people and see people smiling and celebrating fellow members of their community in the wake of these tactics where they want nothing more than for Stephen Miller wants nothing more for them to be throwing rocks and to be agitators and to play into the narrative that they are creating about a place like this. But I can tell you, I got to Charlotte this afternoon. It is as beautiful as ever. The people are as inspired as ever, and the organizers feel very emboldened that there will be many more people showing up at these trainings in the days and weeks to come. And the timing couldn't have been better, obviously, for the operation that's happening on the ground.
Jacob Soborov, MS Now Senior National Correspondent. It's great to have you there tonight, Jacob. Thanks for covering this for us. I really appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the BS, you dumbbell Jew who hates America.
Thanks, Rachel.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel, for all the BS. So yeah, this is what they're engaging in, okay? So this is what these people are doing. Oh my God, wasting their lives away and trying to help illegals, man. You cannot make this stuff up, but it is the reality that we live in. And what can we do? I mean, I used to be on the left, so I get their perspective, although I was never this insane. Okay. I just in general bought the immigration is awesome narrative for a long time. That's the reason I was on the left. And when I was a progressive, but I was never this insane where I was trying to stop federal agents from doing their job. These people have crossed so many lines. Okay. From my observations, what's happening is that the left has become absolutely unhinged when it comes to the immigration issue, because it used to be, for most of American history, both sides believed in legal immigration. Okay. And the Democrats actually used to be against illegal immigration. Bill Clinton took a lot of actions, not as much as I'd like, but he took, in the context of the 1990s, he took a lot of actions to he did a lot of deportation efforts. He built a lot of deportation facilities. So the Democrats were actually for legal immigration and stopping illegal immigration. That was one of the planks that they stood for. But that after Clinton, it just went off the rails. Okay. Not that Clinton didn't, illegals didn't come in. Of course they did. They came in under basically every administration, unfortunately, because we don't have armed borders where we shoot the intruders. That's what we should be doing. But that's just my opinion. So illegals have come in all throughout all time, but it's gone completely off the rails where the Democrats are now actively protecting. Their position is we want the entire third world to invade this country because they have problems there. So we welcome these people to come and just come into this country with no vetting. We don't care who they are. As long as they're not white, let them in. Okay, that is the position of the Democrats now. That is insanity. That's like saying opening the doors of your house and saying any rando across, walking across the sidewalk should be able to come into your house. That's the position of the Democratic Party on immigration. They have lost their minds. Okay, and this is why so many people, including myself, have left the Democratic Party. Okay, and left the left completely because they have utterly lost their minds. Because they hate white people and America and our origins so much. They want to do everything they can to destroy that, the Anglo-Saxon heritage of this country, and replace it with third world savages. They think if they bring enough of these taco-eating little bastards and Indians and Middle Easterners and Africans into this country, they can destroy the white Northern European heritage of this country. And that's what they want to do. That's why they're doing all this. That's the main core belief that they have. That America is evil by its very nature because it was built by Europeans. And so we have to let non-Europeans in here to cure that disease. That's what they actually believe. At the bottom of all this, that is their core belief. If you talk to them for a long time, these self-hating white people, that's why they hate themselves so much. And that's why they want to let the third world in here so badly. And they're doing all of this nonsense to effectuate that. It's truly sad. It's very sad. That's the reality of the country we live in right now and of these people. I mean, they have the right to believe whatever they want. They're Americans, but I would just hope that they would, simp for their own kind and try to push their own people ahead, try to help us forge ahead instead of trying to help illegals and foreigners more than our own people. It's very sad for me. Okay, but they have the right to do it. I'm not going to say they don't have a right because we have freedom in America. So people get to do stupid things, but I wish that they wouldn't. Okay, that's what I wish. But that's all I got to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in my next one. Stay safe out there.